Well, good evening, everybody. It's Saturday night, and you know what that means. It's the Syndicate Cup Series here on Intensity Broadcast, and I'm Eddie Smith from Rebel Racing Network. And tonight, I'm going to bring you 167 laps at Darlington, South Carolina in the Next Gen Cup car. And I think it's going to put on a heck of a show tonight, and we are going to go ahead and get rolling here. It looks like they're going to advance the session a little bit early, and we're going to get this race rolling. And as soon as they advance it, we'll get right into the grid, and we'll get this thing going tonight. And we'll go ahead and get that taken care of right now as we go ahead and pull up the grid. And your Chuck Pegleg Pole Award winner is Jonah Colbert in the number 31 JC Motorsports entry. Outside the front row is Garrett Kinder. Starting third, Daniel Cunningham. Starting fourth, Steve Loving. A lot of JC Motorsports up at the front. The first Poman Motorsports entry is Aaron Adcock in fifth. Jason Lottridge with a good qualifying effort in sixth. William Griffith from Reaper Racing starting seventh. Eighth is Christian Dedman. Steve McDonald starting ninth. Brandon Pollock starting 10th. Josh Lokovitz starting 11th. Starting 12th is Christopher Heiner. And bring it up the last row is Colton Lanford and Cameron Combs. Well, hope everybody is doing good tonight, as I'm excited to see how this is going to play out. We've got sort of a small field tonight, which is always good because that usually means a lot of green flag action and a lot of strategy, green flag pit stops, and it usually puts on some of the best racing for a long race. Here in the Syndicate Cup Series, we have no fast repairs, fixed setups, run 50% of the actual NASCAR length of the race, so actually 180, excuse me. So a little bit longer than maybe some folks anticipated. So going to be a long race. Man, oh man. But getting ready to see how this plays out. Like I said, I think with 14 drivers, I think it'd be relatively clean. And we get ready to go green here as Jonah Colbert is going to lead us down to the green flag. And we're going to see if we can tackle the track that's too tough to tame on Saturday night in the Syndicate Cup Series. Barney's got the green flag in hand. And green flag is out, and we're underway. You see, already got a little squirrely there on the gas, so something to think about later on in the restarts as we quickly get single file. As this is one of those tracks where you think, hey, I've got 2 lanes up there to run. Nuh-uh, you got to work 1 lane, and you've got to be patient with each other. You got to make passes early on. I think you'll see guys not fighting too hard, really kind of giving each other a little bit of space as they really go to try to tackle this track. As you see, Colton Lanford not listening at all, trying to work on the inside of Christopher Heiner. And my goodness, Steve McDonald, Josh Lokovitz almost get together. Christian Dedman's a little bit slow into turn 3. Not sure what happened to him, but he is pulling off the track and is going to come to a complete stop on the backstretch. So some sort of issue for Christian Dedman as he immediately tows. So I'm not really sure what happened to him. It says he crashed, but I don't think that happened. Let's go back and see maybe if we can see what happened to him. You see that right side, he got a Darlington stripe as William Griffith right in front of him. Just drives down in the corner and just plows the right side of that car. And I guess the damage was bad enough that he just pulled it in, towed, and took it to the house. So. But up front, Jonah Colbert with an early lead, but Garrett Kinder, Daniel Cunningham not too far behind as they try to track down the 31 machine. Jonah has been incredibly good this season, really taken to this car. It's no surprise that he is good, but you always wonder who can really. Oh, 13 gets into the wall there. Going to be a lot of that tonight. You got to be careful. You just got to take care of your car. You just don't have. You're not going to have that many caution flags, I don't believe, to get damage fixed. You get a little bit of damage that causes that toe to be off just a little bit. That's going to be enough. That's going to be tough. So Garrett Kinder already on lap 5 getting into that wall. You see that right front crinkled in quite a bit. Now he's going to lose second place here to Daniel Cunningham. As, you know, you might be limping around all the way to green flag pit stop before you can get that thing fixed a little bit. Oh, Brandon Pollock is gone around, and there's that caution. So, lucky break there for Garrett Kinder. Maybe come down and get some of that damage fixed as Brandon Pollock goes around on the backstretch. Kinder Farm Ranch Wreckage Rewind. Let's go back and see what happened to Brandon here in the 04 Pennzoil Chevrolet. Just gets a little bit loose and overcorrects. You can see he's already been in the wall once, so no major damage, just spins all by himself. And able to get it back rolling, but you see that right side a little scuffed up, so he's already been into some trouble. But should get caught up to the field, and we're going to see what guys are going to do as far as is every car that I look at has some sort of damage on the right side. About everybody coming down pit road has, my goodness, every one of them has gotten into the wall except for Stephen McDonald here and Christopher Heiner. Those cars look super clean. So these guys coming down to probably get some damage fixed. All of them seem to have gotten into the wall just a little bit. So early trouble. Like I said, you got to take care of that car. You've got a long way to go. 180 laps is way too many laps. And no fast repair. You really got to take care of that car. Lanford Nation is in chat, so looking good so far. Up 6 spots from where he started, in 7th place in that Ritz Cracker Chevy Camaro. As we take a look here, you see Lanford Nation on the back. That, of course, is Colton Lanford in that 25 Chevy Camaro. Sitting in 7th. Started near the back, but taking advantage of some misfortune. Some guys getting into the wall so far. Keeping that car looking clean, so he is running in the 7th position. Brandon Pollock going to come back down pit road. Well, what do I think guys are going to be dealing with tonight? It's an interesting idea because this track is already extremely difficult. Then you add the next gen, sort of the unknown. The next gen is just it feels like you got a ton of grip and then you just don't all of a sudden, and it can really sneak up on you. So you got to just be careful. You want to run as hard as you can. You want to try to get to the front, but you know, you really kind of have to have a race pace. It's a long way. We're only on lap 8 of 180. So we have to, you know, you got to pace yourself to get to the end of this race. It definitely feels sort of like an endurance race tonight. As we are getting ready to go back green on lap 8, coming to lap 9. And we see the 13 kind of blinking out a little bit there. Should settle when they go back green. Jonah Colbert going to have the control of the restart. He gets a good jump there on his JC Motorsports teammate, that 54 throwback to I think it's some sort of Pepsi scheme, if I had to guess. It says Rowdy Energy. Oh, yeah, definitely a Pepsi scheme. So, car, I'm not sure who that is. I feel like I should know is, somebody, William Griffith, spins down the backstretch, comes back up on the track, and able to keep that thing. What a really good save by the 12 car. But you can see guys are really struggling here. Cameron Combs in that Goodrich Service Plus Tasmanian Devil scheme, that number 15 Chevy Camaro. He is moving up through the field, 9 position from where he started. He's trying to win that Ray Cobb Hard Charger Award as he starts to run down. Probably the best scheme in the race is that Coke Zero Chevy Camaro, which is a fantastic looking car of Steve Loving, that 27 car. Good looking scheme. You kind of want to get on by Steve, that way you don't have a whole lot of camera time, and have to compare your scheme to his. So you try to pass him, get on by him, so you don't have to be in the same frame as him. But Steve also did a good job of these fellas down. Kevin Kinder in chat said, hope drivers packing lunch, long race. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a little bit too many laps, but I don't know. I think the real race may be 360 laps, so 180 would be 50%. So kind of hoping on with some green flag racing, a lot of cautions could make this really tough. But Darlington's pretty good about that. Darlington, we've already seen a couple self spins, but they've been on the track surface itself. But you spin down here in that apron part down on the bottom, usually doesn't bring out a caution. So hopefully we get a little bit of that. As we've already had a couple drivers, but Christian Dedman already retired out of the race. Brandon Pollock sitting on pit road with some damage. So only about 12 drivers still left in the field after 13 laps. Go back here and check maybe some battling going on. Josh Lokovitz, Christopher Heiner battling for 7th place. Both these drivers have picked up quite a bit of spots from where they started. Going forward, Josh Lokovitz is going to make a pass down into turn 1. Able to complete that pass. See how ginger he was being on the throttle. Let's go around the track as we come out of turn 4 here. Jonah Colbert, let's see what the leader, what he looks like. He's actually shifted. Interesting. Driving down there to the apron, getting all the way up to the wall, trying to get a run off the corner. Long straightaways, deceptively long. Let's watch that gear right in the middle of your screen. Definitely shifted down, trying to keep that power band in a more acceptable level to get a drive off the corner. With these sequential gear shifters, you don't really have to worry about losing that much speed shifting gears. So you don't really lose that much speed down the straightaway. So not a bad little idea. It does get into the wall a little bit. And you can see that right front crinkled up just a little bit. And you see the guy running him down, that car, that 54 machine looking really clean. Check back here. We have Griffin, Steve McDonald, and Aaron Adcock starting to work that Hardy's machine up into play here, as he did pit on that first caution to try to get a little damage fixed. And I'm going to make sure everybody's paint scheme is up to date here. So they're going to turn white for just a few minutes, as just want to make sure that everybody's scheme is up to date. I've seen some people that I thought would have some different schemes, but see Brandon Pollock get into the wall again. See Jason Lodge with that Mountain Dew scheme. Let's go back up front. He's got a battle for the lead. Daniel Cunningham starting to reel in his teammate here. Every week I watch these cars race. It just makes me so jealous because I just love how they drive. It seems, based on what I see from, when they're here in the real cars. And I'll kind of talk about that just a little bit as I go down into turn 1. And then push up the track, get all the way to the top. You're actually going to hear them get on the throttle and then get off. And then get back on as they try to get on the back straightaway with a whole bunch of speed. And you'll see that in real life. They try to keep that speed with that corner, run it up at the top, and then they'll have to lift just to keep the car under them. And in 3 and 4, usually you'll enter in high, run that top line, and to make sure that you get a good, strong run off the corner. So keeping the momentum up, keeping that speed up, getting speed everywhere in the track is going to be super important. That's why you see guys really jumping up to the top side near the wall in turns 1 and 2, just to keep the RPMs up, keep the speed up. We're actually seeing Daniel Cunningham is not shifting, so I don't know if Jonah Colbert maybe just doing a little bit of experimenting, but Daniel seems to be quite a bit faster than Jonah, just needs to find a way around him. Jonah obviously knowing how important clean air is, and if you got somebody faster than you at Darlington, you can really make it tough to pass, as it's just really one lane. It looks like you got plenty of room to run, but you know, if you're Daniel Cunningham, like I know him, he's not willing to put himself in a bad position, or Jonah, to try to get a lead, and so not really worth pushing the issue. You got a long way to go, but Garrett Kidder starting to make his way back up to the front. Steven asks in the Facebook chat, how can I do this? Well, just go to iRacing.com and you make an account. Oh, the 54 is going to get to the wall, and when he does, gets a little tap from the 13 as second place has had an issue, goes down to the apron with a good amount of damage. He's going to lose another position to Cameron Combs. So a tough deal there, really nobody's fault, and he might lose a position to his other teammate, Steve Loving, but able to get that thing back going, as that was a very, very close call. Good recovery. That's the first time that we've seen Daniel get into the wall, and that's why you just can't. You've got to be careful. And that one little tap was enough to get him woed up, and there's just nowhere to go if you're Garrett Kinder. As we'll actually go back, and we'll get on board with Garrett Kinder. We'll go back and actually watch that, as you'll just see just how much into the track you are. You can't just turn left and get out of it when you're in 3 and 4. That turn is just such a tight corner. You see it gets a huge run here. Decides not to really use it. Goes down in the corner. Maybe gets Daniel to drive in a little bit deeper than he wants to. When he gets into the wall, just nowhere for Kinder to go. But a great job saving it by Daniel Cunningham. Anyway, Steven asked in chat, how can I do this? You go to iRacing.com and you sign up for an account. It's a subscription-based service, but it's all online racing. It has grown quite a bit since its inception in 2007, 2008. Lots of content, any kind of racing you can think of these days, it pretty much has. But to sign up for an account, it's about $13, $14, $15 a month. You have to buy the content. You have to work your way up through the license system to do official races. But league racing is where it's at. If you want to have a good time, meet some people, definitely go on there, check it out. Need a wheel and pedal set. Usually find one for about anywhere from $50 to $100, and it can get you going. Cameron Combs in the wall, trying to run down these leaders. He's going to have to give up third place, as that wall has gotten just about everybody. But look at this little battle we got back here between Aaron Adcock, William Griffith, and then also Jason Lottridge and Steve McDonald back there in the 68 car, and Brandon Pollock. Even though Brandon Pollock is a few laps down now, as he has had to pit quite a few times, 10 times to be exact. Oh, no, that's when last time he pitted. As you can definitely see, these guys are really struggling with this track. You see a lot of accordion effect, guys kind of running up on guys and backing off, and Brandon Pollock in the wall again. But definitely guys trying to just be patient. Definitely you can tell that they are a little nervous about this track. And you see the 48 getting to the wall just a little bit. It's a good racing back here. This is for around the 10th position, as Colton Lanford sort of leading this train of cars, as oh yeah, that's a good view right there. Yeah, it's a 7th all the way back to 13th here, kind of running within a few seconds of each other. So pretty good little battle back here in the back half of the field. Oh, my goodness. Aaron Adcock does get into the wall a little bit, and so does Jason Lottridge. So Track Too Tough to Tame is so far undefeated. Go up front, check on our leader, Jonah Colbert, who has led most of the laps tonight. Has about a 1 second lead over Garrett Kinder, but Garrett earning some fast laps here as we start to get some age on these tires. Most of these guys have not pitted, especially the top 5 have not come down pit road. Josh Lokovitz in 6th place, the first driver to have come down on that first caution. As Aaron Adcock making an unscheduled pit stop in that Hardee's 23 machine after getting into the wall a little bit. Must have had enough damage that he needs to come in and get that thing worked on. And this makes you think of the old Southern 500. NASCAR started as an endurance race. I mean, the Indy 500 is the same way. But these were endurance races of feats of strength that these cars would go out there and be able to complete 500 miles. That was so abnormal to run a car that fast, racing other guys for that many laps, that many miles. It was sort of the allure to this type of racing. It's definitely oval endurance racing. But these days, the cars, the drivers, they're just top-tier athletes. The cars are almost indestructible. The parts and stuff they use on them are just such high quality that they can do it without much issue. But Darlington is still one of those tracks that kind of retains that feel because it's just so unforgiving. Regardless of how good the cars, they don't give up. The driver is tested every lap to maintain the speed that it takes to run up in the wall and come down off the corner at these extreme speeds without getting into the wall, just a tight window. And so it really lives up to its name of being a track too tough to tame. Still a lot of racing going on back here as Stephen McDonald trying to make his way past a few drivers. Still one of the cars without hardly any damage. So you see in this little camera view, you see those right fronts kind of pushed up on those cars. That throwback to Kevin Harvick's white 29 Goodrich Service Plus machine. You can see it's looking really, really clean. He is doing a good job as Colton Lanford looks like he got into the wall a little bit. He's going to open the door for Christopher Heiner in that one machine to go around him. Then Christopher Heiner responded by going up and getting the Darlington stripe of his own. Aaron Adcock's still sitting on pit road, so must have had pretty bad damage. Currently about 2.5 minutes sitting on pit road, so Aaron Adcock struggling. Good thing about tonight is you might have a bad race, but as far as points go, it can't be too bad. We've got 14 other drivers, but we have a battle picking up for the lead as Garrett Kinder slowly but surely. And let's actually pull up the lap time history and show you over the last few laps. You see Jonah had one really bad lap on 35, 4/10 that Garrett Kinder was able to make up, but just slowly making his way up to the back end of that 31 and 2.5 that time around. So Garrett Kinder there, but going to have to figure out a way to pass him as we start to close in on what I think might be pit stops in about 20 laps. So guys are going to be thinking about that. I would imagine you could probably run about 60, 65 laps. As Garrett Kinder goes in there and just clobbers the wall there. So Garrett getting real familiar with that wall. Seems like guys aren't really having trouble with 1 and 2. That turn really is really, really fast. It kind of just gives you a big old hug as you go down into the corner. But 3 and 4 is really, really tight. You have to really slow down to get through the middle of that corner. And that's where you're going to see most folks having issues. But doesn't look like the damage is hurting him too bad as he's able to stay there with Jonah. but only time will tell how bad that damage is. But yeah, should start seeing pit stops in the next 15 to 20 laps. If you're Jonah, Garrett, you may stretch it out as far as you can because these two have about a 7-second lead over third place Steve Loving, and then about a second back to Cameron Combs, and then another second back from him is Josh Lokovitz, and then you go 11 seconds back to Christopher Heiner. So if you're running up here at the front, you can definitely go as long as you want to. You don't really have to worry about an undercut at all. But these two right here really separating themselves. Daniel Cunningham having that issue. He is running the fastest laps on the track, so he's going to hope for a timely caution when this thing cycles out, as he should be a lap or two down. We'll check this. He is 1 lap down in the lucky dog spot. So we'll keep an eye on Daniel Cunningham as he's turning the fastest laps. He did pit on 32, so he is after that little bit of contact. We'll see where he ends up whenever pit stops cycle around, as we watch the two leaders battle it out on lap 42 of 180. So still a long way to go, guys. Buckle in, make you a cup of coffee, because we're probably going to be here for a little while. As Colt Lanford comes down pit road along with Brandon Pollock. So these guys coming down to make their first pit stop of the night under green. Darlington actually pretty easy pit road to get on and off of, as it's just got so much runoff area there on that apron area, and all the race services up higher, and so you can really get off the track. It's really hard to mess up pit road here at Darlington. As we'll go on board, you kind of see as just watch Josh Lokovitz here. You do have to kind of cut down. You see that commitment cone there to the left. That's the entry to pit road. So you can kind of dive off in there a little bit early, be a little aggressive, but it's a pretty tight entry, but not too bad. You do hear it shifting too. So, well, while we have sort of a lull in action, is we're trying to watch and see if Garrett Kinder can try to get around Jonah. He has kind of been tracking him for a while. Just hasn't been able to find an opportunity, kind of just wait for somebody to make a mistake and then drive by them. But so far, Garrett's been really the one that's been hitting the wall a few times. But it looks like these next gen cars can take a lot of beating, because I've seen him tag the wall quite a few times, but hasn't really been an issue here. So let's go ahead and pull up the point standings, as we are a couple of races out from the start of the playoffs. Cup Series does a 16-car playoff, and Darlington, and then we have Charlotte next week will be our cutoff race for the playoffs. So we'll bring up the Cup standing before pit stops start getting going. And you see Jonah Colbert, Garrett Kinder, they're running 1-2 on the track, 1-2 in the point standing. So they are pretty solidly in the playoffs. I don't think that they could actually fall out. So a lot of these guys in the top 10, or at least the top 5, feel pretty confidently locked into the playoffs. They could probably miss a race and not be out of it. But down here in the 16th, 17th place, you'll see guys who aren't here tonight that are on the bubble there, and so you're gonna have a lot of guys be able to make up some spots. But it looks like pretty much everybody in this race, or a lot of people, will advance into the playoffs. We should see some shake-up as some guys aren't here tonight. We'll see how it rolls out tomorrow or tonight after the race. But that's your point standings right now. It's interesting listening to Jonah. It sounds like maybe I'm trying to listen, but it sounds like maybe the front end, it might be scrubbing a little bit. It's hard to tell. I'm trying to listen as we go into turn 3. Well, I didn't hear any scrubbing, but second place has come down pit road. Garrett Kinder going for the undercut here on Jonah. Going to come out with about a second and a half, maybe more, fresher tires. So I would imagine Jonah going to be following suit. But Garrett Kinder coming down pit road is Jonah Colbert. You see him taking a dive down to the apron here. Going to cut that corner really, really close and make his way down pit road. That leaves Steve Loving out on the track. And looks like Steve is going to stay out, get that bonus point, and get that lap led if he can. Steve Loving going to assume the lead. Jonah is coming down into his pit stop. Oh, and he slides through his pit stop. That's not good. As I don't know, did he miss pit road? Let's go back and watch. Let's go back and see this real quick, because it looked like he might have missed pit road, unless I'm just missing something. No, maybe I'm losing my mind. Well, he comes back up on the track, and Garrett Kinder was able to pull off the undercut. Of course, Jonah Colbert does slide through his pit stall, and that was all it took. So hard to pass on the track, but that's a good way of getting it done right there, as Garrett Kinder was able to come out with that lead once everything cycles around. So that's one way of doing it. Can't have a hard time passing on the track, do it in pits. So already a lead change in the pits. One mistake by Jonah Colbert to slide through his pit stall. But right now, Steve Loving hoping for a caution, going to stay out as long as he can. Try to hang on to this lead. Of course, you got Garrett Kinder, Cameron Combs right here, also on the same strategy. But you see Garrett Kinder about to go into the inside of him with fresh tires, and then he will, very scary there. These two trying to unlap themselves. They're about a second and a half behind. Steve Loving. See the difference in the tires there, as Garrett Kinder able to get such a huge run off the corner, and he's going to go in there and unlap himself. Jonah Colbert going to unlap himself as well. So if the caution does come out, they won't be trapped a lap down. So at this point, if you're Steve Loving, kind of have to make the decision: do you come on in, or you try to stretch it out just a little bit longer? Usually stretching out a long time really puts you behind the 8 ball. You really want to pit along with everybody else. But he was so far behind that if you can try to do something a little bit different, you might get a lucky caution, kind of turn your fortune around. Let's watch Steve McDonald and Christopher Heiner get around Cameron Combs as they set their sights on Steve Loving, trying to unlap themselves as well. But if you're Lanford Nation watching, I hate to tell you, but Colton has been on pit road for about 8 minutes. So it seems like he has some damage that is going to be a long time to fix. Aaron Adcock back on track after being some 10 minutes on pit road trying to get his car fixed up. So guys really struggling tonight as he claps the wall pretty hard again. But here is your battle for the lead. They are currently running 4th and 5th, but after pit stop cycle around, this will be your lead too. As they always seem to find themselves around each other in this series. as you can tell by the point standings, them running 1-2. So now Jonah has the task of trying to get himself around the 13. As we'll pull up the track map here. We'll do it by car number. So if you know your car number, you can look at it here so you can see where everybody is on track. Everybody's kind of spread out other than these two. But right now, Steve Loving's still on track. He has yet to pit in this race, so 60 laps on those tires. Definitely can tell the difference as you watch Daniel Cunningham get up to him and watch his. We'll kind of watch from Steve Loving's cockpit and just watch how different it is when you have fresh tires versus older tires. Of course, Daniel actually has 32 lap fresher tires, so you just see how much Steve has to get out of the gas. And here he comes down pit road right now. So it gives up the lead to Cameron Combs to come down pit road, get his tires, and you can definitely tell it's hard to get down this pit road with those older tires as William Griffith crashes and immediately tows or something. I'm not real sure. No, he didn't tow. I'm not sure what happened there. Oh, man. Griff kind of just self-spins down the front straightaway. We stay green, but not really sure what happened to him there. But Cameron Combs is going to give up the lead after he stays out an extra lap. And we'll see where these guys end up after that strategy. They will have about 10 to 12 lap fresher tires than the guys who pitted a little bit earlier. But you know, it's really going to put them behind the 8 ball. So really hoping for a caution, but didn't get it. But go back up front. It's still the same same song, second verse. These two are still battling out here. Jonah Colbert all over the back end. You see Steve Loving coming out of pits. But he's actually a lap down now, so they're actually putting him a lap down. So you can just see how much time those new tires made up on him. He will have, like I said, fresher tires, but oh, Garrett Kinder gets a little bit loose. Jonah has to lift a little bit there. Kind of cut him a break. But let's watch this battle from, if we can, from the nose of Steve Loving. Oh, Garrett Kinder gets into the wall again. And again. And he is going to pull over and let the 31 machine go, as Garrett may have made that right front tire a little bad. Even with new tires, you can just see how tight it is off these corners, and you see guys really being able to get on the gas in the middle of the turns, and then having to jump out of the throttle, get that car slowed down to get up off. Just hear how slow it is. We'll watch right here one more time, and we'll just try to illustrate. They drive down this corner, they get right back on the gas. Back on the gas, gassing it up, and you'll hear him lift right here. And then back on the throttle again. Still even gets into the wall, even doing all that. So you see how tough this is. You just wonder why these guys are wrecking so much. It definitely seems pretty difficult to run this car and track combo. Because even some of the best drivers we've seen have trouble. As Garrett Kinder is hanging it out there. Let's check on some guys. Jason Lottridge right now is running in third place. He has yet to pit, so he hasn't made his pit stop just yet. His last pitted on lap 6. And right as I say something about him, here he comes down pit road, so he's going to give up that 3rd position. And that's going to put Daniel, and the 15 spins, and we're under caution. Cameron Combs spinning down the backstretch. It just gets loose and overcorrects it. We've seen this happen quite a few times, so just a solo spin, and that's enough to bring out a caution, so that's going to change a lot, as we were really trending on a long green flag run to the end, but that's going to change up some things, give some guys some time to go down there and get some damage fixed, as our leaders have already hit pit road. So we'll see if any decide to come down pit road, and it's really good for Jason Lottridge, who, like I said, just stayed out, was coming down pit road when that caution came out. So he'll get the pit from the 3rd position and kind of equalize, stay on the lead lap. And who it really didn't work out for is Steve Loving, who will, I think, get the free pass. I'm not real sure, but we'll have to see it all play out. But a couple of those guys went a lap down, staying out as long as they did, and didn't get a chance to unlap themselves just yet. But I think Steve Loving will get that free pass and get back on the lead lap. But we'll have to start from the end of the longest line, which is almost sort of feels like a penalty. But yeah, trapped a couple people a lap down. Stephen McDonald, the first car a lap down, I believe, after Steve Loving gets his wave around. All these guys pitted about 20 laps ago, so it's going to be real difficult to stay out and try to get a wave around to get back on the lead lap. I think that would just be punching your ticket to the back of the field. So we'll see the lap cars make their way down pit road. People who it really benefited was Josh Lokenvitz. Those drivers, although it's currently scoring Steve Loving in the lead. So I don't know if he was able to unlap himself or not. He may have been able to get ahead. Kind of go back and see. I don't know exactly when the caution come out. Let's go back and see when Cameron Combs crashed, and we'll see where, once the yellow comes out, where Steve Loving is on the track compared to the leader. He goes around. So the caution is out right here, and we'll check on Steve Loving. And that's Jonah Colbert right up in front of him. So, like I said, we'll have to see how it plays out. But so far, it's showing him. Okay, yeah, the guys are going by him. So he definitely had the lucky dog, and so he'll have to start at the end of the longest line. When you get the lucky dog, you get the opportunity to go around for free if you're the first car a lap down. And you do get a chance to pit, which wave around cars do not. So you kind of get what they call a free pass. It's like, hey, get back on the lead lap and get you the ability to pit. But you get penalized and you have to start behind everybody else unless they pit after you. So, but not a bad deal there for Loving. He does get back on the lead lap. It does save him going a lap down, which most everybody else had happened. So Lokovitz, the big winner, is he's going to have the lead here, as he must have he last pitted on lap 68, so I don't know how he got out ahead. Oh, it looks like everybody decided to do like I said and get some damage fixed. Josh Lokovitz, the only one that didn't. Jonah Colbert sat on pit road for about 50 seconds. Daniel Cunningham for about 42. Garrett Kinder 55, 47. With this many cars on the lead lap, it's a pretty smart strategy to get that damage fixed, as you really don't have that many drivers. So Josh Lokovitz takes over the lead because of that. And so he's going to lead us down to the green flag. Josh gets a good start. Jonah Colbert running into the wall on the start. Oh, my goodness. Josh gets really loose right in front of the 31 machine, jumps down to the apron, and just going to let these guys go. As my goodness, he got extremely loose there, and is going to give up quite a few spots and tuck in behind the 13 machine. That was a scary moment there for the 79 and 31, as looks like 79 just got a little bit loose going into the corner and just was chasing it. See Steve Loving back here at the back of the pack, running in 6th, but he's got to pass all these cars to get back up to the front. And Josh Lokovitz again. Man, Josh is really struggling. I don't know what's going on with him. Oh, and he spins up into Colton Lanford. Colton Lanford, just an innocent bystander, but man, Josh Lokovitz just having a horrible couple laps, as I'm not real sure what happened there. But just a tough couple laps in the lead, and just struggles through that whole lap, and eventually just spins it out on the backstretch and takes out Colton Lanford with him. Let's go back and kind of see what in the world happened there. That, like I said, that was a tough few laps for. See, drives down the corner. Oh, gets into the wall, comes down in front of the 31, gets it wrapped up, gets it back going. We'll speed this up and see what happened. He does tuck in behind the 13 machine. Oh, yeah, and just loses it down into 1 and just keeps struggling. Just sliding that whole car, gets it wrapped up and just turns right back up into the outside wall. Just a tough turn. The whole corner he was wrecking, so struggling to get control of that 79 machine. We under caution yet again on lap 75 of 180. We've got a long way to go, as we are not even halfway just yet. Well, all right, as we get the 1 to go, we see that Daniel Cunningham been able to recover after that first little incident where he got way off the pace, got into the wall a little bit, got a little bump from behind from the 13, and pitted a little bit early. So now he has been able to cycle back around to everybody else, and he was pretty quick early on. We'll see if his car is still good enough shape to battle for the win, but able to stick with it. No, trying to give my voice a rest there, Kevin. This race is going to take a while, and if I try to talk the whole time, I'll eventually run out of vocal cords. So trying to give it a little break, especially under caution. But getting ready to go back green, over 100 laps to go, not even halfway. So a lot of racing still left to go. I don't know how many cars we're going to have at the end. May not have any at all. But I have no idea what's going on, as pace car pulls out. And nobody's going anywhere. Green flag's not out. I don't know if they threw the caution again. The pace car is back out. So to make sure that this race takes a little bit longer, it looks like maybe through a manual caution for some reason. So as Colton Lamford, see him back here, smoke bellowing out of that Chevy Camaro. Fortunately for him, his night looks like it's going to be done as that engine is expiring here. He's going to pull out in pits. And if you're in Lamford Nation, you're either, you don't know if you're happy or sad because he's had a rough night. It really had nothing to do with him, but looks like we are going to go green this time by. Jonah Colbert going to lead us down to the green flag. Gets a good job there on that, his teammate. And Garrett Kinder going to be right behind him with Jason Lottridge in that fourth position, with that pit strategy staying out long enough that he was able to get that caution, get that track position, and hold on to that fourth place. Of course, you'll be watching Steve Loving here as he's going to go down to the inside of Josh Lokovitz. See him try to make a move here, not quite able to make it. Oh, and Lokovitz is going to go around as he's trying to hold off 27. We stay green as Josh is sitting there on the apron. Just a tough 10 laps or so for Josh Lokovitz, sitting in the lead there for that one last restart, and is just going downhill from there. But Steve Loving able to get around him. Moves himself into the top 5, sets his sights on Jason Lottridge, who is having a dang good run, I have to say. But, man, I'll tell you what, Jonah Colbert, with that damage fix, run the fastest lap of the race so far at 29.84, which is scoot, as him and his teammate, Daniel Cunningham, there in second place. Only 2 drivers on track in the 29-second bracket. So don't know if you don't know how much tire they're using. They know the tire wear. They've already had a full run. They kind of know what to expect, how hard you can run, how you can abuse these tires. It all depends on that first little run. How hard did you run? If you take those tires off, not that much wear, maybe you push it a little bit harder, try to get a little distance there. While the tires are good, because it seemed like no matter who you watched through the field, as the tires got wore out, it was incredibly difficult to navigate, especially turns 3 and 4. But if you're just joining us, you're watching the Rebel Racing Network 200 here on Intensity, as we are closing down to the end of the season, getting down to playoff time for the Syndicate Cup Series, as we get ready to crown a champion for Season 4. Last season's champion unfortunately had to retire and not racing this season, so nobody to really defend their title. But I'll tell you what, he was a champion of all champions. We sure do miss to see him on track, as he, just a stand-up guy, great racer, ambassador for the series, I think. And a really dominating performance last season with 10 or so wins. Just really, really impressive. His caution is out as Josh Lokovitz crashing again. So Josh having a real tough night. You see the front end is completely gone. You see the smoke coming out of the back end. Josh going from bad to worse to, God dang, this is horrible, as his night's going to be over with. Well, like I said early on in the race, this is reminiscent of an endurance race. Back in the day where tires would blow up after, 5 to 10 laps, and guys would be blowing out wheel bearings and blowing motors, and tires would blow and they would wreck the car. It's just an endurance style race, and so it's just going to be who can make it to the end here. It's going to be able to take home the win, as nobody elected to come down pit road. Looks like they might be not coming down pit road. They're moving just to let Stephen McDonald get his lap back, because he's going to be our lucky dog tonight. Doing sort of a throwback scheme, so I don't see too many people contributing, or it's not a huge theme. We kind of just do it for fun. A lot of guys want to paint and change up their paint scheme, so you see a couple throwbacks up here. Little trade paint special here for Stephen McDonald, Jason Lottridge with the old Mountain Dew scheme. I want to say Darrell Waltrip, but I feel like I may be wrong, but I would believe it was probably based on that one. And Cunningham with that Pepsi scheme. And as far as your Smil Racing Design best paint of the night, I'm going to give it to the old Hardee's 23 machine of Aaron Adcock. I like a simple scheme, and I sure do like Hardee's, so he is going to win that award as he comes down to try to get a little bit more damage fixed, get that car maybe back on the lead lap. We'll see how many laps down he is. He may be way behind. He is some 19 laps down, so just trying to get to the finish here. So a lot of guys coming down pit road just to get that damage fixed. But Steve McDonald still one of the few drivers that just doesn't have a jacked up race car. Car looks pretty dang clean, I have to say. So doing a good job of keeping that thing clean and keeping her pointed forward. Who have I got in the booth with me?
You got Jamie in here with you, Eddie.
Well, Jamie Mullins, what's going on today, brother?
I was spotting for Colton for a little while. He had a rough night. Called it a night and figured I'd hop in to help you out, buddy.
Well, I could probably definitely use it, as we're still not to halfway. We've got a couple laps to get to halfway. We're still having cautions. We're about to run out of cars to do it. From your perspective, man, what does it look like guys are struggling with the most as you were spotting for Colton there? What are you seeing out of these guys as they are trying to tame this track?
It was really hot and slick for him. It was turn 2 seemed to be a trouble spot for him. He hitting the wall quite a bit out in that area, trying to get into the throttle too early, causing it to drift up into the wall.
Well, we are under green. I'll tell you what, Daniel Cunningham did not have a good start at all and has dropped back all the way to 5th place as he was passed up by Steve Loving and Jason Lottridge. He's able to run down Jason again, but just had a tough start there. Just did not get that car rolling. So he's got some work to do to get back up to the front.
It looked like he had a little bit of tire spin there at the start. Caused him to get a little squirrely. Lost some position, but it looks like he's coming back.
Yeah, Daniel, one of the faster cars on the track. We'll see how he deals with having to pass cars. See how hard Lottridge doing the smart thing and just letting somebody go. I don't know how you race, Jamie, at Darlington, but that seems to be the best course of action, especially as we're just getting halfway. If somebody's faster than you, just move over and let them go and help facilitate that pass and live to fight another day. At least fight to the end of this race.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to let them go, let them do their thing. Hopefully, you can catch back up and stuff. The hard part for Darlington is finding the place to let them go. It's really, really tight racing.
Yeah, as we on board with Daniel Cunningham, as we watch him try to track down his JC Motorsports teammate, Steve Loving.
Really smooth on the wheel.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Just seems like you just can't push this car harder than it wants to go. You try to, I think, to a few cars you can do that with. The Xfinity car you can push pretty hard. You know, a couple of the short track cars you can really get with it. But tonight it just seems like if you try to give it more than it's willing to take, it's gonna punish you for it. So you definitely tell he feels like he's a little bit faster. You get on the throttle a little bit sooner, but it just doesn't seem like the car responds to that type of driving. You just see how the car just almost dies in 3 or 4 as you just lose all momentum. It's trying to run sort of a middle line there. Can't imagine that's going to be too good. I feel like you have to get up to the high side and really work on the run off the corner.
Yeah, the runoff is pretty. You can get a good runoff. You can make up a lot of ground. I do know that the track temp was pretty hot when right before Colton's issue. I think I saw it at 117 degrees. So.
Yeah, you see Steve running up top, and that's going to give him a lot of momentum. And you carry that momentum. You don't really think about this, but off of 4, you carry all that momentum all the way to here, and where you have to lift just to get off the corner here. But all of that speed that you gain off of turn 4 is carried all the way into turn 1 and 2. So it's important that you get a great drive off here. You see Daniel starting to move up the track to do that, but he was kind of running low and not quite able to track Steve down.
He looks like he was trying to go a little bit higher. Maybe he's hitting that low line on the off.
Oh, my goodness. And 13 goes around, clobbers the wall off of turn 2 on the backstretch, and the 13 goes around, running in second place, goes down into the inside wall, and just destruction on that 13 machine as he has got all but the right rear quarter panel. Garrett, if you're watching, if you can hear, back that car into the wall. You still got a good right rear quarter that you can knock out of the way. And it looks like he may have missed pit road, but man, big development there for the second place driver as he's just trying to ride and take it easy and actually stays green. I thought the caution had come out for sure, but no, the caution doesn't come out. So we are still under green, and Garrett Kinder, like he might be trying to get the pit road, but it seemed like the car just not want to go there. But let's actually go back and see. We kind of saw it in live action, but let's see if we can go back and watch it. He's trying to get a little speed and just gets into the wall, and that's all she wrote. Let's go on board with him. Yeah, just a small mistake as the tires start to wear out of not getting straight off the corner like Jonah. See how Jonah is down there right at the right where that dark and the light area meets up there, and he's right here, and you see Garrett Kinder just a little bit higher than that, and when that turn unwinds just a little bit too much, and that car just took off on him.
Yeah, right into the wall. And then once you hit that, it kind of pinballs you down to the inside.
Yeah, and he was just
there.
Yep, just a sitting duck. Yeah, I know Kevin Kinder not happy to see that, as that takes Garrett pretty much out of this race, and Jonah Colbert on an island right now. But still having a good battle here for second, as Daniel Cunningham has tracked down the 27. The 27 just lets him go. So move Daniel Cunningham up into the second position. So, man, we're just seeing nobody's safe. It doesn't look like anybody's safe tonight, as there's not a – I think Steve McDonald may be the only clean car on the track. We look at him, and still that car looking like it doesn't have a dent on it. Now, he's right behind the 12 car, so that may change pretty soon.
Looks like he's running an old Kevin Harvick throwback.
He is, yeah. Yep, just, it may work out for Steven. He's running on the lead lap. He is in 6th place. And these guys up front keep doing what they're doing. He may end up with a podium, or maybe even get this win.
Oh, yeah.
See Garrett Kinder on pit road, Josh Lokovitz on pit road, and Aaron Adcock back down pit road. Been on pits for in the pit stall for about a minute and a half. Must have some damage. It's just too much to keep going. In iRacing, you'll have a couple different repair options. You have a required repair, which means that you'll have a meatball flag. You'll have to come down and you'll have to fix that damage before you can continue. Basically, any kind of major damage will cause that. Some damage can't be fixed. Some can, and then once you get done with required, you do have optional. So a lot of your suspension damage, things that kind of make the car hard to drive, those type of things, you can decide, hey, do I want to try to go out there, limp the car around? Maybe it's not too bad, or don't want to sit there and try to get it all fixed and get it as close as possible to the way it was whenever you first hit the grid.
Yeah, I've definitely seen my fair share of the meatball flag.
Yep, never a good sign. I actually saw it in the 87 race. I ran in the finale at Auto Club, and that track was just eating up the tires, and I tried to push the limit a little bit too much, and I ended up blowing a right front, and it gave him the meatball with about 8 laps to go. So,
heartbreaking.
Well, I had a blast. That 87 series is obviously one that I really enjoy, and been broadcasting it, so it hadn't really got a chance to race it as much fun as I have doing that. And so was able to get in there and run that last race of the season, and just had a blast. The William Griffith goes around apparently. Let's go back and see what happened to him. Same thing that happened to Garrett, looks like. Almost exactly. Just almost a mirror to what happened to Garrett Kinder. Just clips that outside wall, and it just sends him down to the inside wall.
Yeah, almost identical. Probably in the same spot in the wall.
Yeah, they might be dropping oil there. JC Motorsports might be doing that. Charles Stevens got it right. JC Motorsports running 1, 2, 3. Jonah Colbert leading, Daniel Cunningham in second with Steve Loving right behind him. But besides that, Jason Lottridge having a great run. I mean, these guys aren't pulling away from him. He's not turning the fastest laps in the world, but his lap times are really, really competitive to the guys up in front of him. So, Lottridge is going to be holding off Christopher Heine here for 4th place, but he's doing a great job. So, good job by him keeping that car relatively clean. at this point, there's not a soul on this track that doesn't have some sort of right front damage except for Stephen McDonald.
Right. And these drivers now are screaming for tires. You'll burn through those tires before you burn through the fuel load.
Yeah, and we still have a long way to go. It's going to be a tough decision.
When I was spotting for Colton, we figured somewhere along the lines of lap 35 would probably be a limit as far as the tires, and he hit the wall on lap 40, so he pushed it a little bit 5 laps over what we were wanting to do. But these guys here, they may go a little longer, maybe short pit a little bit, see get a fresher set and see how much of an advantage it'll give you on the guys that dip pit.
Yeah, the leaders up here, they stayed out about 60 to 65 laps. I think Steve Loving actually stretched it a little bit further. So you can do it, but we definitely showed on the broadcast about how different those tires are. So it, pitting a little bit early, say like 40, cutting this in half. If you got to pit one more time, maybe, cut it right in the middle.
Yep.
Get to the end, but we already saw the advantage, Jason Lottridge, of course, he has actually dropped back a couple spots since we were talking about him. So not really sure what happened to Jason, if he just decided he's going to let these fellas go. Drops him back to 6th, but still on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap.
Might be playing. Yeah, I think he's playing it smart. I think he's not overdriving the car, running his own race, racing the racetrack.
Yeah, I wish I could highlight, and you kind of see there, if you look at the Jonah Colbert line, he's running a 31.2, 30.9, 31.2, 31.4, 31.3. Normally, Jonah, one of the more consistent drivers, but you see the difference, the variance of lap times about how this track and how difficult it is to hit the same lap time every time. As you see, his lap times are really, really kind of back and forth, as the last couple laps he's been able to run a similar lap time. But you just see one little mistake, and that hurts your lap times for a couple laps. So it's very, very difficult to run this track and do this many laps and not have any mistakes. I think that's why we've seen so many guys with so many issues.
Exactly. Right now, he's sitting about 7.7 seconds ahead of Cunningham, so he's kind of pulling and stretching it out a little bit.
Yeah, if you look on the track map there, the highlighted in green, the 31, that is Jonah Colbert, and you see the 54 just entering that corner behind him in that 54 white dot, and you just see how much space is between those two drivers. And Steve Loving about 1.4 seconds behind him. And then just a little bit back to Christopher Heiner. So Christopher Heiner actually running these guys down a little bit himself. So that number 1 car starting to kind of move up towards these top 3.
Yeah, he is. He's moving up pretty good.
Let's check the see a couple tenths faster. 1 lap, then just about even one, and then a couple tenths faster the next lap. So he just slowly eating into that gap between him and Steve Loving. As Loving actually running some pretty consistent laps. It just seems like Heiner is able to knock off one really fast one and then kind of break even, and then another really fast one. So that time by, Heiner was 5 tenths faster than than Loving. So that number 1 machine is moving. He is the second fastest car on the track. So we'll watch out for him as and he's starting to take advantage of this long run here.
I think a lot of it might have to do with that Monster Energy he might be drinking.
It may be.
Steve does have a nice looking car.
Talking about Steve Loving?
Yeah, I like that Coke Zero car. It's a pretty sharp looking car.
Yes.
Monster Energy, I like that gray also.
Yeah, the spec map on his Coke Zero cars are always really nice. They always have a really nice shine. Almost makes you think of an aluminum can look to it. So it definitely makes all the colors pop. And I think he does a great job on. I think he's got a Coke Zero scheme for everything he races. So.
Oh wow.
Maybe an addiction. I don't know.
It possibly could be.
Coke Zero may be slang for something else, if you know what I mean. So I don't know. Maybe he addicted to something else.
Yeah. Never know with that guy.
Well, Christopher Heiner has tracked him down here, and we're about to have a nice little battle here for third place. You know, Jamie, when you have a broadcasted league, third place is kind of a nice spot because, my thing is it's a points race, and the best way of doing it's not always go for a win, but just get you an interview. You know what I'm saying? Get you an interview. That's usually a pretty good day. You may not be able to get a win. You may not have the car or the know-how to get up there and win a race, but if you can get you an interview, that's a pretty good day.
That's nothing to hang your head on there. I mean, that's pretty good, especially with the talent that's in this series.
Yep. And so Christopher Heiner about 4/10 behind, and we'll kind of keep up with this battle as you see if Heiner can get to him. And we've already seen guys be able to run fellas down, but if that person is not willing to give up the position, we'll see if somebody can make a pass, especially on old tires. It seems like that's going to be just the most difficult thing. So we'll see if Heiner can maybe pull that off. As you see, he is consistently faster than Steve every lap.
Yeah, catching them's one thing, passing's a different story, especially on this track here. Make you want to use your stuff up more to try to get around them.
Absolutely, yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, he's definitely faster. It's just I don't know where you're going to pass him. You're not able to really get on the throttle to get a run on him down the straightaway. So where do you make up your time? Where are you going to try to set that up and not put yourself in a bad position? Because if Steve moves over and just lets him go, that's one way of doing it. But I don't think here, as we get down towards the back half of the race, that there's going to be any moving over, letting anybody go at this point.
Oh no, I would definitely not. Especially you have to start planning how you're going to make your move 3 to 4 laps in advance to find out when the best time to make the move when you can. Right now, I mean, there's not really any lap traffic to deal with, so you're only dealing with the guy in front of you. It may make his decision making a little bit easier, but running out of time, you're going to have to start working on him.
Yeah, you see just how conservative he's. I mean, in my eyes, just watching from this view, I want to say, why are you not driving so hard down into turn 1? But they last pitted on lap 85, so there's so many laps on these tires. You can't just drive it down in there. As you hear him shifting down to 4th, and does get a nice little run here on Steve. So see how easy he's getting into that corner to keep that momentum up. Steve's going to go down a little bit early. That should give Heiner, oh my goodness, and you just see how tight that car just binds up off the corner. They both get into the wall a little bit. Heiner's going to get a run on him. Going down in the corner. We'll see how this plays out. See if Steve just gives him the spot. So really smart racing is looks like Garrett Kinder and William Griffith crash here on the backstretch.
He's had a rough night too, also.
You know what? I'm gonna have to give the P&J Hard Luck Award to the damn near whole field.
Yeah, I know.
Because I don't know if there's one driver that's just had the worst bad luck, but it looks like Garrett Kinder trying to, oh my goodness, and Griff goes down and comes off the corner, gets into the wall. When he comes off the wall, Garrett Kinder's there. And I hate to laugh, but just a tough night, man. This has been a tough night of racing.
It is. In Kinder's mind, when he dove down there, he's probably thinking that he's going to clear him, and then next thing you know, he's getting turned. Not much you can really do at that point. You're just holding on for dear life.
Right. Well, I'm either going through puberty or I'm losing my voice. I don't know which one is happening, but Jonah Colbert, Daniel Cunningham, all your lead lap cars probably going to come down pit road. I can imagine anybody wanting to stay out on those old tires. And so they're going to come down and get those. I know Jonah definitely didn't want to see that caution. But at this point, if he keeps his car clean, able to come down and keep getting repairs if he still has any left, seems to be definitely the driver, the fastest one on the track, and I think he's still in a really good shape, regardless of how many cautions he gets. He's going to get control of the restart, and he's going to be able to set sail. Daniel Cunningham definitely fast. I think maybe damage holding him back a little bit from what he was early in the race, but I just really have a hard time seeing anybody get up there and challenge Jonah other than Jonah taking himself out of this race.
Yeah, he's pretty much dominated that last run, and that last run went pretty good ways. So I wonder if we've seen the last caution, the last pit stop for tonight.
That's a great point. I mean, they are definitely in that pit window of about 65 to 70 laps where they can go to the rest of the way pretty easily. So I think you're going to be right. If we stay green, I don't think we'll see any more pit stops. I think if they run, 30 laps or so, I think you'll definitely see it. But I think you're absolutely right.
See how many cars are left. Seven cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, Cameron Combs able to get back on the lead lap. He's been a lap down from an earlier incident, so we'll see if he's got anything left in the tank. He was running up in second place at one point, I believe, anyway. Definitely up in the top 5, but ended up spinning out, hitting the inside wall, and has been trying to recover ever since, but finally gets back on the lead lap here.
It's been a pretty exciting race. They got strung out fairly early and had some long green flag runs. I was really impressed by that.
Well, your and my version of exciting is way different because it's been exciting for sure in the way that these guys are really struggling with these cars. And just like in real life, I think we want to see guys really uncomfortable. If you're a viewer, if you're a broadcaster or something, you don't want the cars to be easy to drive. I think all the drivers want that. But for a show or something like that, you want to be able to see these guys really struggle. And I think you're right. I think that's been the mantra of tonight, struggle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've had their hands full, no doubt. The cars feel, from what I've noticed, the cars feel kind of good for the first couple of laps, and then after that it's kind of like there's a switch. And once the tires wear on them then you're everywhere. I mean, you're trying to hold on and still maintain your speed.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing I've seen in these cars is just how the other cars with the steering boxes, you could really, when you start to spin, get a half spin, you could counter steer quite a bit to try to save it. But it seems like in these cars, it won't save it. You'll be still spinning, then all of a sudden it'll just jerk to the right, and you'll be into the wall. So really, really interesting car as we get ready to go back green here on lap 130 of 180. So 50 laps to go. Jonah's going to get a great restart here and set sail here as he tries to get away from his teammate, Daniel Cunningham.
Excellent restart on that one.
Yeah, both of them able to get away as Heiner, Steve Loving battling it out here with Jason Lottridge right behind him, but a nice little battle here for third is Steve Loving looking down the inside, trying to maybe find a way around Chris.
Seems like Steve's got some really good short run speed. A little bit later on, Chris was able to get back up to him. Maybe he's saving his stuff earlier on and letting these guys go the same way Steve did it towards the end.
Yeah, wow. Heiner drives in deep to that middle of that corner and almost comes to a stop in the middle of the turn. Steve able to make a lot of ground. Steve going to look to the inside here. It's about maybe not the best move there. Maybe it was, because Steve's going to get the run on Heiner here as Heiner gets up into the wall, and they go down to 3 and 4. This is a scary place to make a pass, but they were able to make it happen. Heiner going to fight back, though, maybe on the exit of turn 4, but loses a little bit of that grip coming off the corner, so Steve Loving going to take over that 3rd spot, and with a really nice move there. I mean, that was not given to him at all, and he made a nice move into 3 and 4.
Don't look too far behind Chris either. You got, oh, there he is. Never mind. He went towards the inside there, back up on the track. I'm going to say Jason Lockridge was climbing up toward that way.
Yeah, well, right now, Mr. Clean here, number 68, Stephen McDonald, in that 68 machine, is tracking down Christopher Heiner. So Steve, man, showing a lot of patience, man, is starting to kick it up a notch as we get down towards the end of the race. And like I said, I mean, if you look at that 68 car, there's a reason why he's running 5th and running down the 4th place position. Is we watch the camera view, not a dent on it. And that's really impressive. You know, that's just as impressive as winning a race if you race at Darlington for 135 laps so far, and you've got a pretty clean car. There's a reason why he is knocking down the door of 4th place.
Running a very smart race, keeping his car clean.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I think of Darlington sort of like I would a road course, where I don't even have to really think about the other drivers. It's all about the track, me racing the track, hitting the marks, trying to keep my lap times consistent. And it seems like the same way that you would attack a road course. You just try to keep your, all 4 tires on the track and stay out of the wall and do the best you can. You're going to have a little run on the one car, but decide to back out of it there. Another entry in the really smart race of Steve McDonald.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to bank towards the end of the run, and that's what it looks like, backing off early, saying, I don't want to overdrive it yet. No need to push the issue. Let's just settle back in here and make my run a little bit later on.
It definitely feels like he's faster. He's going to look down to the inside, but Heiner not willing to give that position up. So tough to try to set somebody up and pass them without them just basically giving it to you. You see Heiner really struggling here.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult because you're trying to plan it to where you can make the turn and hopefully be able to not get up into the guy or door slam them to get into it. You don't want to do it. This makes it so difficult. The track is not as wide as it actually looks on TV.
Yeah, and with him running low in 3 and 4 like that, it just makes it so difficult for him to get those runs. But it's a smart. It's a really always Christopher Heiner going to get out of the groove. That's going to open the door, but immediately closes it. Heiner does, but it looks like Steve is just preparing for Heiner to maybe get to the wall. If you run up right behind somebody, which you need to be doing, like that, running that low line right there, just not going to get you the run off the corner. However, if Heiner gets up into the wall and you're right behind him, you're going to run right into the back of him, like we saw with Garrett Kinder and Daniel Cunningham. So probably a smart thing here, working the bottom to give yourself that room to get away from him if he does get into the wall.
Exactly. It's just so difficult to try to pass him on the inside because it's a tighter radius off of it, and you're having to turn the wheel a little bit more and scrubbing speed and messing your tires up. But he keeps messing around too much, you're going to bring the 15 into the mix.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, it seems like about the only way to do it is to really get a run off the corner. If you try to pass somebody off the turn, You're going to have to lift. It's going to be difficult, but you're really going to have to get the run and try to pass them down the straightaway and get to their inside before like 3 and 4 or 1 and 2, so they have to give you the bottom.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Chris is going to give him the outside, so he's going to have to do it on the bottom. He may fall back in line and cool these tires off a little bit more and make it more of a run.
Yeah, I think it's going to have to get beside him on the straightaway, get that spotter call. But he's going to have to do something quick. I mean, you know, I don't know. I say that, but Steve's been running a good race. You might just let Cameron Combs on by, let him clear a path for you.
Yeah, that is another racing advantage. Use one car to clear a path and fill the hole as he goes by.
Yeah, but a really nice battle here. This is a battle for 4th place between the number 1 Monster Energy and the number 68 Goodwrench Service machine. And now we see another Goodwrench car right behind him in Cameron Combs and Jason Lottridge. So a little 4-way battle here for 4th place.
Yeah, Harvick versus Dale, looks like.
Yeah, oh, and Cameron Combs gets into the wall. So that's going to kind of give Steve McDonald a little bit. Yeah, Steve's going to have to get up a little bit higher. If he's going to make this pass, unfortunately, he's going to have to get up on the outside of the wall in the middle of the turns and get those runs off. He's really hurting himself going down low, I think. So if he's going to pass Christopher Heiner, he's going to have to get up off that bottom, that apron, and get those runs. He was definitely faster.
He's definitely not making it easy on him.
We'll check back in with our leader, who is running. Last time by, he was probably, let's check, the 2nd fastest car on the track. Jonah is lapping about 7/10 faster than anybody else on the track.
Wow. He set it in cruise control.
I mean, he is scooting. Last time by runs a 30.92, and that time by Daniel Cunningham picked up the paces a little bit, but he's running at 31.14 versus the 31.5 that he ran last lap, and Jonah ran a 30.8 the last lap. So nobody else running in the 30-second bracket. This 31 machine is rolling.
Yeah, for right now, it looks like it's Jonah's race to lose.
Well, shoot, we missed the pass that we've been waiting on by going up there talking about Jonah. Stephen McDonald was able to get around him, and Chris Reiner, though, looking like he's going to come back and battle him as Jason Lottridge gets a little bit loose off the corner, but able to get it right back up. Let's go back and check that pass, as I hate that we sat there and watched it the whole time and didn't get to see it. So let's go back and check that out.
That's that broadcaster booth or broadcaster curse again, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, it looks like it finally happened. Steve just waited long enough, and Heiner goes up in the corner, gets into the wall, gets a little out of shape, almost loses it, goes down on the apron, and that's going to give the 68 car a huge run, able to get down on the inside and take that position. So his patience paid off there, as Heiner even tried to fight back there and got into the wall again. Well, and that. Uh-oh. Well, so much for that, as that right front now is a little squished in. So it looks like the 68 machine finally got his stripe as it go down to the corner, and trying to let Heiner go. Does just let him go as gets down on the apron and didn't really get any damage there. Well, I don't know where he got the damage from.
I don't either.
Yeah, the number 1 was able to get back by him. Well, I don't know. We ain't going to waste time trying to figure it out.
No, that's
Well,
that neck damage.
yeah, I guess so. But now the cleanest car on the track, the car that has yet to touch the wall, you can definitely say is got his Darlington stripe. So he has definitely been initiated. And but Cameron Combs now going to the inside. So you have to wonder, maybe used up a little bit of those tires trying to get around Christopher Heiner, and finally got a little bit of that damage on the right side.
That's a tough luck. He had it clean for 149 laps or 148 laps of the race.
Yeah, well, so far,
pretty impressive.
Yeah, so far, Cameron Coles gets into the wall. So far, Darlington is undefeated, man. I just tell you, Darlington is undefeated, never lost.
Exactly.
As there is not a car on the track that hasn't come into contact with the wall.
They flirt with it quite a bit, and sometimes they touch it, sometimes hard.
Kevin Kinder in chat says need split screen. Well, Kevin, that would require another computer, another iRacing account, and me to buy all the content again. And I can guarantee you, unless Kinder Farmer Ranch is going to foot that bill, that ain't going to happen. But we see Cameron Combs get into the wall a little bit. Cameron just not shy. He's just like, you know what? I'm just going to, he's like Bane from the Batman movies. He was born in it. He was bred in the wall, so he's going to live there and become part of it. It looks like it seems to be working out as he's running in fifth.
It seems to help him turn a little bit better.
Yep. See if he can run down Christopher Heiner, and he is quite a bit faster, about 5/10 last time by than Heiner was. Oh, Heiner was actually 5/10 faster than him. Excuse me. So maybe not.
79 car in front of him looks like it's had some better days.
Yeah, Josh Lukovitz probably looked back on this race, and there was about a 2 or 3 lap span there that it went from him leading the race to I don't even know how to describe it. It all fell apart for him, and ended up losing part of his front end. Ended up spinning out. Got into Colton there. Just a bad couple laps as it went from good to bad to worse. It got real bad. So tough race for him.
Kind of like snowballs. You have a bad turn, and it makes you have a bad entry into the next turn, and just snowballs downhill.
Yeah, before he eventually went back up the track and took out Colton Lanford, I mean, he was wrecking through the whole turn. He went down the corner. He was spinning out. He was trying to save it. He kept spinning out. Spun out again. Then overcorrected it when he come out of the corner. It was just a tough deal.
Was with Colton on that one, and I was like, I think you're going to be able to pass him on the outside, and all of a sudden the car went right up into him. There was nothing I could do to tell him to go anywhere. I mean, he was just there, just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
It sounds like it was a spotter problem.
I had nowhere. I was like, he's staying on the inside. Next thing I know, he come off the corner and he shot right up into him. Didn't really have enough time to tell him anything except, oh, that's it. That's about all I could do.
Well, William Griffith coming down pit road. Maybe a little strategy call to come down and get some fresh tires, get out there and try to make up some ground on somebody, hope for a caution maybe. But probably just the car's driving like crap, and you just want to come down and get fresh tires. You're running in 8th. You don't really have any danger of somebody running you down, as Garrett Kinder quite a few laps down at this point. So come down, get you a fresh set of tires, maybe a little damage fix, and get back out there. That way you can drive a little safer.
Yeah.
But
with 20 to go, that's trying to make up as much as he can.
Right. You know, I mean, Jonah is out to a pretty big lead, and he is laying down some fast laps. But man, it just you really can't you can't really take your foot off the gas, even metaphorically, because one little small mistake, and Daniel Cunningham, you see there in that blue and red car behind him, only 7 seconds back. So it doesn't take but one little mistake, a little half spin, and Daniel Cunningham is there. So you can't really take it easy either, as he's putting Jason Lottridge in 7th a lap down. But you know, you don't want to give up a whole lot of time. So I don't think anybody's really just kind of chilling. I think it's especially if you're the leader, you're trying to be careful. You got lap traffic that you're working around. The tires are getting worse and worse. You get up there and you clip that wall, and we already saw that with Garrett Kinder. Gets into the wall and it just shoots him down the track and spins out and goes down to the inside wall, and that's your race. So got to be careful.
Not only that, you know, he's hoping that this thing runs green all the way out. You know, a caution comes out and that could change the whole ball game.
Yeah, absolutely. So he is definitely praying that everybody can keep it together.
Stretched it out 7.3 seconds now.
Yes, definitely still the fastest car on the track. Everybody is equalized. Everybody on the in the top 5 equalized right around the 31.6 second mark if they're running by themselves. So everybody running sort of equal lap times. As Josh Lokovitz going to pull down low, let Jonah by.
Gentleman move there. Nothing to gain. Nothing to really lose. Let them by.
Right. And if you're looking at the track map, you'll see there's pretty even spacing between most everybody. So not a whole lot of battles going on. Everybody just trying to get to the end of this dang race. Me as well.
I could understand that.
I don't know what it is, but this race is extremely long versus some of the others that we've had. I don't know what it is about it, but
well, with 15 to go, can we see any excitement happening with cars losing? I mean, I'd say their tires are pretty much gone by now.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think these guys, I mean, I'm sitting in the booth watching them, and I'm kind of wore out. I can't imagine if I'm out there trying to drive this car at Darlington, and as much as these guys have gone through, I can't imagine they'd be too excited about having another caution and extending this race out any longer than it already is. So I imagine most of these guys trying to get to the end and get this thing over with. You look at the crowd, though. I mean, gosh, the stands are still full. So the crowd's loving it.
Oh yeah, they go taking pictures, standing up. They're all on their feet.
Yeah, I mean, they've been standing there the whole time. They ain't even moved.
I know.
Look at them.
Not even a bathroom break.
No. So even some people standing out outside the stands. So you know, we got a full house tonight.
There's one lady standing up there in turn 1 that's had her arms crossed the whole race too. So she must not be too happy.
Yeah, her name must be Karen.
Ken made her mad.
Well, all right, we are coming to 11 laps to go, 12 laps to go right now. Jonah Colbert with a 8-second lead and is extending it every lap. So Daniel Cunningham has about a 9.4 second lead over third place Steve Loving. Steve Loving has about a 3.3 second lead over Christopher Heiner, who has a 3.3 second lead over Cameron Combs, who has a 9.7 lead over Stephen McDonald, And then Jason Lottridge is 5 seconds back from there. And that's your lead lap cars, I believe. Oh, no, definitely not. Cameron Combs is the last car on the lead lap. And he is almost a danger of going a lap down, just about 6 second difference between him and the leader from going a lap down. So.
Yeah, Jonah's put on a clinic during this race.
Woo! And as soon as we go on board, he almost gets into the wall, almost comes to a complete stop off the corner as he gets extremely tight. And you see he's still shifting in 3 and 4 to be able to get those runs.
Yeah, 10 to go, coming to 9 to go. He's thinking, okay, please, let's just get through this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in that scenario where he comes off the corner and it was super. Oh, somebody's spinning down there. It looks like Cameron Combs, maybe. Yeah, Cameron Combs spins out, so our 5th place runner is going to go a lap down as Cameron just kind of loses it there. No caution. We stay green, but getting a little out of shape. But yeah, just talking about Jonah there, he almost comes to a complete stop off the corner because he got tight. Was going to heading towards that wall, but you got such a huge lead. I mean, you can come to a complete stop on the track, get it back going, and you'll still have quite a bit of lead. So.
Well, and Cameron spun that out really in front of Jonah, so he's kind of like, oh no, where's he going to go?
Yeah, I guess I could do a split screen by having somebody, bless you. I could have somebody, like somebody else, and I could broadcast their screen. So I guess I could do some sort of split screen as long as I had 2 people in the booth, now that I think about it. That sounds like a lot of work.
I can't really keep up with technology. I mean, I can identify a computer 9 out of 10 times. That's about as far as I can go.
Well, I know we're sitting here on the leader, and but unfortunately, just if you look at the track map, there's just not a whole lot going on. A lot of these passes are for lap cars against lead lap cars, so not a whole lot of action to show. Just trying to watch these guys make it to the end, as we only have 6 laps to go. Well, Jamie, what's your next race this week?
We have the trucks tomorrow. I don't exactly know where they're at. I'll have to go and look, but
I think we're at
that's the next
Darlington.
one. Oh, well, I'll be able to know firsthand how these go.
Well, I'll tell you what, the trucks, I think the trucks at Darlington are actually pretty dang good. I don't like the trucks, but the trucks in Darlington is a fun combo. So I think that race will be a lot of fun. And knowing you're always really fast, I think you'll be up there running for the lead.
Well, I hope so. I tend to get a little nervous when I'm up towards the lead. I don't know if that's just because I'm thinking I'm over my head when I shouldn't be, or what the deal is, but I kind of get nervous up there racing in the front. I always seem to mess it up and get overexcited and make a mistake. That's the way it always works for me.
Push that gas pedal just a little bit too much and spin out coming off the corner.
Exactly. Every corner.
Well, 3 laps to go, and we do have a little battle here as Steve Loving, something happened to him. I don't know if this is a battle or if Heiner's just gone, but Steve Loving gives up the 3rd place position. Let's go back and see how he gave that up, and Heiner just runs him down, it looks like, and gets him off the corner. So Christopher Heiner doing some work late in the race. Moves himself up into the interview spot. But white flag is out for Jonah Colbert. as he comes, and you see Barney waving that white flag. So one more lap to go in this extremely long race. He's got a 10-second lead. All he's got to do is just put around here and get back to the start-finish line, and he is going to take home the win. You see him wiggling down the back straightaway. He might be running out of gas, you think? Try to drum up a little bit of excitement here. But Jonah Colbert with a dominating performance. 4 cars on the lead lap. Jonah Colbert going to come home and take the win here in the Rebel Racing Network 200. Your winner, Jonah Colbert, with a fantastic run. Long race, but was able to stay out of trouble and in a dominating fashion takes home the win. So,
yeah, very impressed by his run.
Daniel Cunningham going to bring home in second place. Christopher Heiner with a great finish there, going to come home in third. And let's go ahead and get these Shappy Edits post-race interviews going, and so we can get out of here. Let's go ahead and talk to Christopher Heiner if I can find him. There he is. Christopher Big Papa Heiner. Let's move him up into, see if he's talking dirty about somebody when we drag him up here. Chris, this is Eddie and Jamie in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Well, man, we're doing good. We're a little bit wore out, but I imagine y'all a little bit more wore out. Driving that car, that track, it seemed like it was a tall task, maybe even more than usual with that car. Talk about the race, man. What were you dealing with out there, and what struggles were you having the most?
Honestly, this is my first time ever racing this track. I downloaded it right before logging into the session, so I had not turned any laps until the practice. Mainly just trying to get it, figure out where to get it to turn, how hard you can push it in, how hard you need to push it coming off without it breaking loose, and just trying to figure it out on the fly as we're racing. So that was a big issue.
Well, what did you figure out? You took 180 laps and was able to finish third. So it seemed like you figured something out. What exactly did you learn from lap 1 to lap 180? What do you think you can take into the next Darlington race?
Honestly, at the beginning, just taking it slow, just trying to take care of the car as much as I could, not slamming it into the wall and tearing it up, and just trying to be easy on it. And then my teammates, Aaron and Josh and Eric, they talked me through. They had rough days, so they were talking me through everything through the race, so that helped a lot. And then towards the end, just managing my tires, just making sure that I didn't burn them up in the beginning of a run. That way, towards the end, I was able to catch people that were closer to me. So really just taking care of the car, the tires, and having a team that actually talked me through it.
Well, all right. Well, Jamie, you got anything?
Well, I mean, I'm really impressed. First time running the track. Chris, great job finishing third. That was impressive to me. I have nothing to say about that. I mean, it seems to me like you figured out the track pretty quick.
I appreciate it. It's just honestly a team effort. The guys talking me through stuff, telling me where I need to be easier, where to back off a little more when things started to seem like it wouldn't turn. Just team effort. Great team. Drove with Poman Motorsports tonight, so it was a good time.
Well, congratulations on a third place finish. A great run there at the end to run down Steve. You are the Ray Cobb Hard Charger Award winner, so congratulations for that. Up 9 spots from where you started. Third place finish, man. Very, very good run. Who you got to thank? Any sponsors, shout outs, anything like that?
Aaron at Poman. My regular team, Dark Horse Motorsports, that I normally drive with in the truck series. Just everybody, y'all, for doing the broadcast and just for having a good time and having a good team to talk you through stuff when you're having what you feel is a rough go of it, but it turns out to be a good day.
Well, there you have it. Christopher Heiner finishes in third place. Second place, Daniel Cunningham. Let's bring him in here and see what he thought about tonight's race. Daniel, the Eddie, and Jamie in the booth. You got us?
And forward, got you guys.
Well, you had a good race, started up front, and got into the wall, got a little help from the 13, and put you behind the 8 ball. But, man, you kept fighting, fought your way back up into the second place position. what did you need, man, to try to run Jonah down? I mean, it seemed like your speed was pretty much there, but early on he could seem to scoot away from you, and you would equalize. But it just seemed like, or you tell me, what did you need a little bit more to maybe run him down?
Yeah, short run speed definitely would have been nice. I know like the first kind of long green run that we got, he pulled away a little bit, and I was able to kind of track him back down. Really, the biggest thing that kind of bit me all night was just not really being able to keep up well with the track transition, and just as the track got hotter, I kind of was a little bit lost at times on what to do, what to change on my side. So I guess the biggest issue tonight was just the loose nut behind the wheel is the biggest thing I needed to change.
Well, Daniel, this is Jamie up in the booth. Congratulations on your second place finish. First off, what was you fighting with the most on the car?
The biggest thing that I was fighting throughout the night was just burning the right front off of it. The longest green flag run that we had when I came in and pitted under caution, I had basically just melted the right front off of it and gotten so tight, especially over in 3 and 4. 1 and 2, you can kind of use the apron to get it to turn a little bit, but 3 and 4, I was just fighting tight, and just the longer we went, the worse it got. So I kind of figured it out a little bit too late what to do on the longer runs. But hey, save it for next time, and at least I know what to do different the next time. Obviously, first time in a next gen car here, but first time in really any Cup car here, so can't complain too much.
Oh
Well,
no, well,
yeah, I mean, you had a great run, had a little bit of issue early on, but was able to rebound and recover, stay clean, and come home with a second place, man. That's a pretty awesome run for JC Motorsports. And speaking of that, who you got to thank? Any shout out sponsors?
Yeah, appreciate you guys putting the broadcast on as always. Thanks to all of our league sponsors and admins that put everything together, and it was super cool to see everybody out in that put the throwback schemes on. Of course, the guy that won the race didn't have a costume for the party tonight, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's just a fun night, and appreciate all you guys do with putting the broadcast on.
Well, there you have it. Second place, Daniel Cunningham. And let's bring in the winner tonight, Jonah Colbert. Jonah, this Eddie and Jamie in the booth. You got us?
Hey, fellas.
Well, feller, man, you were rolling tonight. Really, you had a little pressure there from Daniel early in the race, and then you had a little bit of pressure there from Kinder. You slid through your pit stop. Tell us about your race and how all that went, and then how you were able to kind of get early mistakes out of the way and really get that thing hammered in for that last little run.
Well, I felt like I spent the whole race trying to learn how to drive the damn car here, and then at the end of the race, I still don't know how to drive the damn car here. I don't think it helped that the track temp went up like 20 degrees over the course of the race. The first set we came out with, the car was super tight. I mean, it was plowing. I was literally braking off of turn 2 to make it turn down, and then we came in for those first set of tires. I don't even remember what lap that was, maybe been 40 or something. I don't know. But when we came out on those new tires, everything was wrecking loose. Like it was four wheel sliding into 1, four wheel sliding into 3. We couldn't get the power down. It was driving like we were at North Wilkesboro, and it was just the weirdest change up. And then it started to come in a little bit, and then when we took tires again, it kind of tightened it back up again. So the car was changing, and the track was changing all night long, and I was just struggling to try to figure out what was going on. The first round, I burned my tires up, and from there on out, I decided I was going to take it easy, and I just started backing things up a little bit and just kind of rolling the corners like you do in the Arctic car, and rolling the corners seemed to take care of the tire heat a lot better because we definitely burned the tires down tonight. This is something that's not really been an issue in this car till now. So,
well, Jonah, this is Jamie. First things first, congratulations on a dominating win. I mean, that was just very impressive by that. The only question that I really got was what was with all the shaking of the car back and forth with like the last 2 or 3 laps? Was you out of gas?
No, the car was it was slicker than shit. Excuse my language, but it was. I'd get off too, and I was having to fight it. Like it was trying to slip out from under me. Like I could feel it slipping, and I would yank the wheel real quick because if you try to catch it like any of the other cars, like you try to kind of counter steer, you'll snap back into the wall. So what I'll do when it starts to get loose is I'll snap the wheel real fast and try to catch it, and that seems to do better than doing the traditional just turn into the right or whatever. And then on the last lap, I was just once I did it, I was like, I'm just gonna mess with Eddie. So
Right. Well, I was like, well, maybe he's trying to give second place a little bit of hope here, but
I was just messing with Eddie on the last lap. So
yeah.
Well,
Well, it worked.
yeah, congratulations on a win. And I tell you, I mean, maybe the chassis that you're using, maybe you need to go back to the drawing board and see if you can maybe find a chassis. I've heard you might want to try some of those Bloomquist cars and see how they do for next week,
it's a
and maybe
Bloomquist car.
yeah, and see how they go. But yeah, man, congratulations on another win. You just kind of setting yourself apart from the field every week. Just seems like you're getting way too good almost,
Well,
and so you've really kind of got caught onto this car a lot quicker than most, and you've kind of set yourself apart in the point standings. I mean, you've got a nice points lead now. So you're doing it, man. This season's just going great for you, man, and it seems to you seem to be separating yourself from most of the field.
well, before we get into the shout outs, I do want to say I've been working on a video series to help people with this car. I know that a lot of people are scared of it, but there's been some updates to it. It does not drive like it did at Homestead early in the season where everybody was just wrecking every turn. It's a lot more stable now. This track is always tough, especially when it's 130 degrees track surface temperature. So I mean, this was just Darlington's tough in any car. So I hope that people will show up next week at Charlotte. It's the last race of the regular season. I want to see a full field. I want to see people get out there and have fun. The car is a lot more stable, and like I said, I'm trying to work on a video series, help people, figure out little tips and tricks about this car. It's just it takes a while to produce it, but we're working on it. I just want to see people come out and have fun and give this car another shot. Now that they got some updates under it, I think people will have a lot of fun. So,
well, all right. Well, you know the drill. Who you got to thank, and who your sponsors of who gets you around the track.
First off, shout out to the main sponsor here, Original Rebels Racing League and ORRL Farms. Shout out to JC Motorsports and Garrett Kinder as well because he was hanging out with us. Griff, as always, he puts this series together. It's always a lot of fun. Pretty much everybody that was hanging out there in the main chat with us says we didn't do team chats tonight because we had a small field and we were all just kind of cutting up and having fun. Shout out to Lotridge for hanging in there and running with us. Even Aaron Adcock, I know he had some bad luck, but he stuck it out to the end. So shout out to everybody that came out tonight and raced because I know that a lot of people don't look forward to Darlington, but it's one of my favorite tracks, so it's fun.
Well, all right. Well, there you have it. Your winner, Jonah Colbert, takes home the win tonight at Darlington. Just about the only one that could tame the beast tonight. Man, just a lot of fun to watch. There's a lot of action, even with only 14 cars on the track. But let's go ahead and look at the results and see where everybody finished. As we see here, Jonah Colbert, Daniel Cunningham, Christopher Heiner, Steve Loving running in third place, but Chris was able to get around him, but still finished on the lead lap in fourth place. Cameron Combs having a rough night, couple incident spins, but still able to finish with the top five. Just to let you know how this whole night went for a lot of folks. Stephen McDonald with Jonathan Cofield Racing able to come home in sixth. Had a great race, kept his car clean for about 85% of the race, and had a little contact with the wall, but still a really good run. Jason Lotridge with another good run. And then you see all the issues from 8th on back to 14th. Multiple laps down, multiple pit road, starting with William Griffith, Josh Lokovitz. Garrett Kinder was running up front, had a tough finish to his race. Aaron Adcock, Brandon Pollock, Colton Lanford, and Christian Dedman rounds out 14th place. So tough night, man. Tough race, Jamie. But we're able to finish this one off, and JC Motorsports with a strong showing, finishing 1-2. But for a 14-car field, there was a lot of action, and man, we were able to get through it.
Yeah, you did. You did a great job of getting through it. Luckily, I was able to come in and kind of help a little bit.
You saved me, man.
After my guy was really too damaged to get out. I just hope tomorrow night in the trucks we don't have same issues as this race does. But even if this race, it was pretty exciting. Jonah just dominated the field, and what I'm finding impressed was that all the struggles that he said he was having with the car trying to figure it out, and to win by over 10 seconds is still pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, great night. We'll pull up the points real quick and see where everybody's at. Give it a second. It'll update automatically and there you have it. Jonah going to extend his points lead, which doesn't matter at all. Kind of gets reset once the playoffs start. But you look at 16th there. Of course, a lot of drivers around the cutoff weren't even there tonight, so not a whole bunch of movement. You just see the top 5 kind of solidify themselves above 400 points, and then the top 16 pretty close. But if any of those drivers around the cutoff show up next week, I mean, you've got Ryan Huff there in 16th at 194 points. Matt Clemens sitting there in 17th. Zach Wetstein in 18th. So any of those guys can show up next week. Christopher Heiner showing up gets himself a little bit closer. So those guys don't show up, he might find his way into the playoffs. So a lot can happen next week. So come on by to Charlotte. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And we'll see you next week. And, yeah, that's all I got. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for watching Intensity Broadcasting. I'm Eddie Smith and Jamie Mullins from Rebel Racing Network. And we will see y'all on Intensity. We'll be on tomorrow night as Outlaw and Rebels, I believe both be at Darlington. So come on out to Intensity and watch that. And then I think we won't be back on Rebel Racing Network until Wednesday night for the Thunderstruck Super Series. Getting back rolling. So excited for that. Can't wait for that to get going. So y'all come back out and watch us. If you're not subscribed, I've never done this before, but if you're not subscribed, definitely head over to the YouTube channel, subscribe, check it out. We put all kinds of videos and stuff up every once in a while that I think are fun content. We'll be doing some stuff, some other things as well, other than just broadcasting races. So go ahead, click subscribe. That way, if anything comes out, you'll be able to see it right away. And hope that you enjoy the broadcast. So y'all have a good night, and we will see y'all next week.